We are officially recording, everybody. Again, we use these AMAs. We use these recordings to share it later on YouTube for those that can't make it tonight. So just know, hey, if you're in here, you are being recorded right now. Full transparency, disclosure. Brendan, I got you there. Someone's mic is open. ER 2024. Gotcha. Okay, no worries. Good evening. Good morning. Oh, hey, ER 2020.
I just want to thank you for your opportunity for KG and Dan Mansi. That's all.
Thank you, brother. You have been around. You are an OG of this community. You always spread the good word. Appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. Well, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for taking the time to tune in here, right now. It's good to see everybody. See some familiar faces. I see some new faces. And it's awesome. This community continues to grow. We continue to do bullish things, and it's really cool to see. Hey, Brandon, your mic is open. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to go right into the updates, just so that way when somebody is rewatching this on YouTube, they can get through the updates quickly, and then we'll turn it into questions. And everybody out there listening, feel free to ask any question you have. This is truly an AMA, open for any and all questions. We can dive as deep as you need to go. We can be as surface level as you need to be. We are here for it. So let's dive right in. Obviously, if you're here, you probably heard the big news. If you haven't heard the big news, here it is. Time and Future have launched on mainnets. So right now, Time is on Ethereum and Binance mainnet, and Future is on Ethereum mainnet as well. And we're finalizing some things on the wallet to make it all interactable and operate. So we'll dive a little deeper when we get there. But that is kind of the big news that sparked this whole thing. So first of all, everybody get their airdrop. How's everybody feeling about that?
Great. Thank
you. KG, about the airdrop, it looked like you had to go with the backup plan for the quantities in the PulseChain testnet. Does that mean that's the same method and same quantity will be on the PulseChain mainnet?
So you're talking about IM?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get there. We will dive there, but because I know we got some newer people, so we'll keep it in sections here because we got multiple tokens. Great question though.
Super excited, brother. Woo, super excited.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, it's pretty cool because, the first sacrifice happened over a year ago at this point. So this has been a year in the making to get to where we are now. We still have a ways to go to be, where we want to be. I don't know if we'll ever get where we want to be. Truly, we want to keep building, innovating, and iterating on what we are building. But we have worked very hard to get to this point. You as a community have been very patient, very diligent, very dedicated, and we continue to grow and add more people to the community and strengthen the existing community. That's awesome to see. So just like we are proud as the team, you should also be proud as being a part of this community because you worked for this as well. And so, yes, it's very, very cool to hit that go button today and to actually be on mainnet. Does anybody, and I'm going to transition into something else. Does anybody have any questions about the launch of Time and Future?
I'd appreciate it if you could just explain it a little bit. I guess I sacrificed about a year ago, and just kind of getting back into IM in the last month or so. Actually sold my business and moving to Spain now on Sunday from Ireland. There's two good investors here, by the way, me and my buddy, and we're going full time into crypto. So I'm really kind of new into crypto, but we're trying to figure it all out. So I'm just a little bit confused on the Time and Future token, but I kind of get it as well. But if you could maybe explain a little bit simpler, I'd be grateful.
Absolutely. Well, awesome. Congrats on selling your business. Welcome to crypto investing full time. Happy for you. Congrats on the big move. Awesome news. Bullish news on bullish life news. Let's go. So the brief overview is the core of our product is a crypto wallet. And the fancy term for that is multi-chain EVM wallet. Now, if you don't know what that means, it's basically like MetaMask, we're just better. And that's an objective statement, completely objective. You can connect to all the different Ethereum-based blockchains. You can enter in custom settings. That's what I mean by multi-chain EVM wallet. Now, one thing that our wallet does that no other crypto wallet does at this moment in time is shares its fees with the holders of its token, time dividend. All wallets charge fees, they just don't share them. So 100% of the fees that are charged by the Internet Money Wallet get redistributed to the holders of the time token. Now, time is not a reflection token. Those fees aren't paid in time. Those fees are paid in the form of the blockchain's native coin, Pulse, ETH, BNB, whatever chain we launch time on, you earn that chain's native coin. So by holding time, you earn passive income in the native coin. There is no staking, there's no delegating, there's no locking up your time. You just hold it, and you can claim your income every block if you choose. So that's the brief overview of time.
Yeah, that's really really clear. So basically, once we hold the time in the wallet and we get these little dividends paid from all the chains across that are using the IM wallet, will there be like different sections for, like, we'll say like Ethereum, PulseChain, so forth and so on? Like, will there be little kind of sections within our profile in the wallet where we can go in and claim them whenever we want, or how will that kind of look like?
Sure. So happy to answer that. Is first of all, have you downloaded the wallet yet?
No, I haven't. I'm a little bit apprehensive about that at the moment, so I'm just taking things kind of nice and slow.
Sure, no worries at all. Even if you just download it, if you feel comfortable to download it, don't even transfer your keys over there or anything. You could just create a dummy wallet and just play around with the interface at the very least so you can see the layout. But the way that it works, and I just dropped the links in the main chat if you're interested. But the way that it works is there's a dividends tab in your navigation bar, and whatever chain you're on, because we have preloaded chains within the wallet, but you can also enter in your custom chains. Whatever chain you're on, the dividends tab changes to support that chain. So if you want to interact with your dividends on Ethereum, all you have to do is switch to Ethereum and go to the dividends tab. And then that will show you what you've earned on Ethereum and so on for whatever chain.
Awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. So I'll download the wallet and maybe set up a different MetaMask and just start messing around with it. That's cool.
Yeah, and if you're familiar with, well, real quick, are you familiar with PulseChain? I take it you are.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Okay, so you could even play around risk-free, basically, because we have PulseChain testnet loaded up in there. So you could just move your testnet tokens over there, and you could play around. Like, we actually have a swap, an in-app swap on PulseChain, so you could play around with your PulseChain tokens.
Awesome.
Yeah, great questions. And anytime you have questions, feel free to just drop them in the main chat. We're happy to open up voice chats anytime. Happy to answer text chats anytime. We got awesome admins in the community too. So the admins are very helpful, very knowledgeable. So either myself, Don, who's the co-founder, or any one of the admins will be happy to answer your questions. Or ask more questions tonight. That's what we're here for. So, all right. Any other questions regarding the time and future launch airdrop? Cool. So let's transition into the audits. So Time and Future have both been security audited, and Time has also been economic audited as well. And so we have those audits internally. So if you're out there like, hey, I want to see the security audit before I interact, totally understand, totally respect that, totally appreciate that. Those audits will be released very soon. I mean, we're aiming for the next 24 to 48 hours. They actually came through today as finalized. The reason we didn't launch or release the audits with the launch is because one of the line items that came back, by line items, one of the things that the security audit, Certic, that was the firm who we had audit these contracts. One of the things they pointed out was that the distribution of time, so the airdrop, there was, quote, they were calling it a centralized risk, which is accurate, right? Because we physically had to airdrop the tokens. But once we actually did the airdrop and the distribution occurred, we sent them the contract on chain, and they were able to verify that the distribution did occur. So that actually had to happen before the audit was finalized. So we are going to do one final scrub, make sure the audit's good, and then we're going to launch that audit very soon. So the security audit, that's self-explanatory, checking and testing against any security vulnerabilities. But one layer deeper than that is the economic audit, and that tests for any mathematical irregularities. They test to make sure your logic is correct. They test to make sure your math is correct, that what you're saying your math does is exactly what your math does. And what's really cool about the economic audit is the auditors came back and they said our code is unique and they hadn't seen it before. And that is the way that we're doing what we're doing with Time is brand new. So we actually work together with them to help them, not to do the audit part, they're great at what they do there, but to get the logic comprehended, because it is new logic. It has not been seen before. So even on that level, we're introducing newness and innovation in the crypto space. So it was really cool to see and experience that. Any questions on the audits? Okay. So no questions there. They come up. We'll circle back to all questions at the end. It's open floor AMA. One other cool thing too is today, along with Time and Future on mainnets, we also launched Time on PulseChain testnet v3, and we launched IM on PulseChain testnet v3 as well. And for those who have been following the project, you know that we have that graphic going around. I'll drop it in the main chat right now. For those that are new, if you look in the main chat, you'll see the ideal situation, the backup plan. So in this case, when V3 launched, the snapshot to do the system state copy actually happened about 2 weeks or a week to 2 weeks before we launched IM on Ethereum. So what that meant was IM was not on PulseChain. And see, this is the amazing thing about having a backup plan, is there's no way to tell how this is going to play out. It is all speculation. And so our backup plan came in handy on this time, on this go around. So what we did is we actually executed the backup plan, and you will see your airdrop on PulseChain testnet v3, which is basically your average of your holdings of IM on Ethereum and your IM on Binance. Any questions on those V3 drops?
Out of curiosity, for those providing liquidity with IM on the Ethereum chain, how is the airdrop recognizing that or not recognizing that?
Great question, actually, right? Because for the V2 liquidity, you were credited your liquidity position. We encountered a complexity with the V3 liquidity. So if you were providing IM liquidity on V3, which there was a few people doing that, there wasn't many, your tokens were not attributed to you. So that is not how we want to do it for mainnet. We want to figure out that complexity. But for this testnet drop, only the V3 IM Ethereum liquidity providers weren't credited their position.
Thank you very much for the clarification.
You're welcome, sir. Good to see you. Great questions as always.
And KG, that you use the backup plan for testnet, does that mean the same plan gets used for the mainnet, or because it's a fork, you can go back to the ideal situation? How's that going to work?
Yes. So we don't know still. Either one can still play out on mainnet. It was cool because it's giving us the opportunity to test the backup plan in case we have to use it. So it kind of was a blessing in disguise.
Right. Okay. But that doesn't lock you in for the main. It's still up in the air as to how it could turn out for mainnet.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
And again, we want the ideal situation to occur because we want to support PulseChain in any way possible, and supporting that native copy would be ideal. But just like this, we had in all the reasons we accounted for the backup plan, one reason was never, oh, what if the snapshot happened a week before we launched? That was 2 months ago. So It's just anything can happen in this crazy crypto space.
But would you expect? I mean, my understanding is that when mainnet goes live, it'll be a fork of the way things existed just in the prior moment. So if that's the case, then it should be the ideal situation if you had to bet on it.
Well, even if IM is accounted for, they snapshot Ethereum right now and they launch PulseChain, right? IM's going to be there, but we still don't know how it's going to play out in terms of, this is where we start to get into the layers of complexity with the AMM fixer bot and all these things. But how will the liquidity play out? Will the ratios be destroyed? Will it still be a viable market? Because the team, we don't have tokens to provide liquidity on V3 if something goes wrong with that fork. So it could turn out to be a wrecked project. Somebody could become a mega whale for pennies on the dollar. So we literally have to see how it all plays out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I wish we knew for sure. I do.
Yeah. We'll survive either way it goes.
There will be an IM on PulseChain. Either way, it'll be there.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, something's falling over. There we go. Okay. Any more questions there on? Well, okay. So also on mainnet, Ethereum and Binance, we launched an upgraded version of our swap router, which is what fuels the in-app swaps and actually fuels the dividends for time. We also launched that on PulseChain testnet v3. So again, we are the first DEX aggregator on PulseChain, which is really cool. So very soon you'll be able to, within the wallet, swap on PulseChain testnet v3 on PulseX. But so all those contracts exist. We're just, getting them to communicate with the wallet. Now, something that we're not ready to answer all the questions because we're still in the testing phase, but a seed that we are planting here is the internet money buy and burn. That is coming to life. So we actually launched the buy and burn contract on PulseChain testnet v3. So I can answer some basic questions, but some nuances could change. So I don't want to say anything that's going to get people locked into thinking that's the way it's going to be when we launch it on mainnet. But the buy and burn testing has begun. So that, we estimate that to be, again, a relatively soon development, that even that's going to hit mainnet for IM on Ethereum and Binance. We're just testing it on PulseChain for now. So another little bullish Easter egg for you AMA attendees tonight. buy and burn is mostly done.
Could I just briefly ask about the buy and burn, and
Sure.
what are the really good benefits of having a good buy and burn actually functioning in this system?
So our buy and burn is also unique in how it functions. So the fuel for the buy and burn is actually the time token. The buy and burn is a smart contract. Anybody can deposit time into the buy and burn. Anybody. Let that sink in for a moment. Anybody can deposit time into the buy and burn. So that means the buy and burn can theoretically grow in its buying and burning power. Now, the beautiful thing is it is applied to IM. So IM right now, depending on what chain you're on, it has about 5 trillion on Binance and about 7 trillion on Ethereum. The buy and burn smart contract will collect dividends from the wallet. It'll collect ETH, Pulse, and BNB. And it will use that Pulse, ETH, and BNB to buy IM off of the open market and burn everything it buys. So it is revenue-based buy pressure and deflation on IM.
That's unreal. Really, really cool.
And to make it just one layer more bullish, this contract we're building can be applied to any token. So it incentivizes other communities that want a buy and burn functionality in their ecosystem to buy time and use it as the fuel for their buy and burn. So there is another token outside of IM that we're going to launch the buy and burn for. And I'm sure you savvy people in here can maybe come to some assumptions of what that other token might be. But it is a great way to not only engage other communities and get them swapping in the wallet and get them buying time, but it's a benefit for other communities because it gives them a buy and burn. It can make any token deflationary.
Yeah, if I could chime in there too, real quick.
Please.
I don't know if people really grasp the gravity of that and how cool that actually is. Take this into perspective. Let's say the SHIB community wanted SHIB to be deflationary, and they know about the smart contract, and maybe we'll build them a front end if they want to get involved, whatever the case may be. At 1 million users, if every one of their users or every one of their holders just went out and bought one time and deposited it into the contract, that would be 1 million time buying and burning their token that they love. So it really is another unique smart contract that we created that can change the space around us and be used in any one of the tokens in our ecosystem. So it really is an amazing thing. And I'm so excited that we did it this way.
Can you walk through that one more time as far as so like there still would be, even if they created their own contract for SHIB, let's say, a percentage would still go to burn internet money and fees would still go to pay passive income towards time. What's left to go by towards SHIB, let's say?
Well, that's the beautiful thing. And Dumar, what's up, bro? Glad to hear your voice. Thanks for all the hard work you put in the community. I see you out there, man. Appreciate you. So that's the beautiful thing, is because the fuel for all of these buy and burns is the time token. So the buy and burn contract just becomes another holder of time. So they're just earning their portion of the revenue like every other holder.
Okay, got it.
So let's just say one of these buy and burn contracts ends up with 10% of the time supply. This is all theoretical. Now, 10% of the ETH that the wallet earns goes to that contract and then buys whatever token off the open market and burns it.
Gotcha.
So
It
and
won't
it's
also burn IM. It'll just burn that token.
exactly correct. Yep. So each buy and burn is dedicated to its own token.
Okay.
And it does it so it doesn't take. Go ahead, Don.
As I say, we could probably figure out a way to do a small percentage. I mean, that's another deep dive for another conversation, but we may always be able to loop IM in that process. It'll be multiple transactions, but
Yeah, let's save that for a brainstorming session.
yeah, absolutely.
But the cool thing about the buy and burn is that time holders aren't diluted in any way because it's not making more time. It's just using existing time supply. So your portion of the dividends don't change. And then, yeah, that's really the big one is your portion of the dividends don't change at all. They're just another buyer in the ecosystem. But the thing is when they buy, they remove whatever they're buying from circulation. So and it's also cool because theoretically, if say the SHIB community or the Hexicans or whoever, they now have incentive to use the wallet because by using the wallet, it's putting buy pressure on their token. It's putting deflation pressure on their token. And all the meanwhile, you as the time holder are earning dividends. To me, that's bullish. Oh, there's another bullish thing about the buy and burn, okay? We actually set up the buy and burn smart contract to route its buys through our swap router, which means the buy and burn pays fees, and those fees go back to time holders. My arms are in the air right now.
A perpetual loop, a never-ending revenue distribution.
Yep, I think it's big if we can get the Hex community on board.
So the Easter egg is that is the first non-IM buy and burn that we're going to launch is Hex. So we will create the first contract in existence, and it already exists. Not we will create it. It has been created. We're just testing it. The first contract has been created to make Hex deflationary. Let that sink in for a moment. The first and only contract has been created to make Hex deflationary. And while it makes Hex deflationary, it makes the IM buy and burn contract is doing its thing, and the time holders are earning their money are earning their dividends as well.
Yeah, baby.
What's the timeline for that?
It currently exists on PulseChain testnet v3. We actually just started testing it today. Before we launch it on mainnet, it's going to be security audited, but it's going to be audited in the midst of everything else we're auditing. So no exact timeline right now, but it's actively being worked on. And I don't think it'll take very long. I just can't put a number on it right now.
Is that the buy and burn for Hex on ETH or just on PulseChain?
On ETH and on PulseChain when that time comes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to hear from you.
And this would happen for any coin that trades, or how does that work?
So the buy and burn would only occur, like for example, the buy and burn's not going to go buy and burn SHIB unless we launch that contract to talk to SHIB for all intents and purposes. But
right, so you're gonna choose which contracts to interact with.
Exactly. But
okay.
If a buy and burn exists, like let's say the buy and burn for IM, regardless of what someone's swapping in the wallet, someone could be swapping USDC to USDT. Doesn't matter. Those dividends are going to go into the buy and burn contract, just like any other holder would get their dividends.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And another cool thing about that is, just real quick, is that it's a contract that someone in another community can fork. And all you gotta do is buy time, fork it, and boom, there's their own buy and burn contract or buy and burn process to duct taped onto their ecosystem. So there's a lot of layers to this. Sorry, Trini, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I just had a quick question about the time dividends. What happens to the time dividends that are accumulating for the time that's in liquidity? Is that just like ignored and just redistributed to the liquid coins?
No. So this is another cool little hidden gem. So it's cool in one perspective and not cool in another. If you provide liquidity, the DEX get your dividends. They're credited your dividends. That's the not cool part. The cool part is that removes native coin from circulation because the DEX doesn't have a function to claim. So that's kind of the trade-off. If you want to be a liquidity provider, you are giving up your dividends. And the reason we did it that way is because even right now, we could have basically blacklisted every DEX, but then we would have had to have had an admin key to continue blacklisting. And blacklist is like the worst admin key, one of the worst ones in my opinion. So
yeah, that makes sense. I got you.
Yeah, we couldn't prevent it.
So basically, all of the liquidity, there's just going to be a constant small supply of all of the tokens in existence that get burnt in the contract? Because they won't get swapped?
So the time won't be getting burnt because, you as the liquidity provider can pull your time out, but any dividends that are earned while your time is in the liquidity pool, so the Pulse, the ETH, and the BNB, actually the DEX is earning those dividends. But because the DEX can't claim it, they just going to sit in the time contract forever.
Oh, okay. So all the dividends are already swapped into the native tokens, Pulse, ETH, BNB, whatever. It's just Pulse, ETH, and BNB that's accumulating. It's not just a million little tokens that are burnt.
Exactly. Correct. Yep. Because the dividends are only paid in native coin.
Got it. Thanks, KG.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. I'm going to put a pin in the buy and burn for a moment. And I'm going to transition to the other few updates we have. And then if you guys want to continue to deep dive and tear this thing apart, let's do it. So another big thing that we've been working on as well is a relationship with Wallet Connect. If you're not familiar with Wallet Connect, they are the second biggest wallet connection provider in the DeFi space. Number one is MetaMask, obviously. Everywhere you go, MetaMask is supported. But the second one is Wallet Connect. So if you've ever connected your wallet to like any dApp, really, you're going to see like a little W, a little blue W. And if you click into that, that's how all these other non-MetaMask wallets get supported. MetaMask is widely supported natively because, well, they're the biggest player in the game. But Wallet Connect is making the other wallets also viable players. So we have been in contact with Wallet Connect for many, many months. Many months. It's been a process in the making. But recently, a couple days ago, actually, we have started to see some fruit of that labor. I'm going to drop a link in the main chat here. It's not full. It's not finalized. Oh, what's up? Blah, blah, your mic's unmuted. It's not full, it's not finalized, but we have the first step towards integration with Wallet Connect, which is huge for so many ways. Let me share this link and then I'll tell you about it. I'm going to drop it in the main chat now. So we have been added to Wallet Connect's Explorer. So if anybody is on Wallet Connect searching for wallets, you'll see the Internet Money wallet is there. And we actually have a contact at Wallet Connect now who is helping us with this whole process. And shout out to Walrus. If you guys know Walrus, he was instrumental in this connection. So if you see Walrus out there, thank him as an IMG. He's awesome. The next step is actually to get the Internet Money wallet connected when you hit connect, and that way you'll be able to connect to dApps cleanly and seamlessly. Right now, connecting to dApps from the Internet Money wallet is not as user-friendly as it can be, but Wallet Connect solves all of that. And so we're working on the final steps to get that integration. So there's some layers of complexity to what we have to do, but confident in the dev team, they're going to figure it out. We are figuring it out. We're just working through the layers, working through the steps. And so this right here is big. Not only does it make the Internet Money wallet very accessible to all dApps in the crypto space, but it is also the first and only wallet in existence that natively support. Well, first of all, we're the first and only wallet native in existence that supports PulseChain, but also we're the first wallet out of all the wallets that the second biggest player in the crypto game supports, that supports PulseChain. We're the only one. Think about that. This right here is putting PulseChain on the map in a way that only the Internet Money project has done. Bullish. Any questions on Wallet Connect there?
What about a good fiat on-ramp? Will you be able to connect a wallet to, say, like something like Coinbase or we'll say crypto.com or something like that, so we can kind of get like euro or dollar or something like that through into Internet Money where we can then trade and buy coins?
You can do that right now by sending from your centralized exchange to your Internet Money wallet address, whatever address you import there. But actually integrating a fiat on-ramp, we're not in position to take that on. There's too much regulatory scrutiny and complexity and loopholes. And that's not to say we're not going to do that. We're just not focusing on that at this juncture in the project.
Cool.
Yep, but you can still send all your tokens to the Internet Money wallet. All right, so we have 2 updates left, and then we'll just dive deep. So this update is we're going to dive into the wallet and that timeline a little bit. So for the last few months, we've been aiming for the timeline of beta V2 of the wallet to launch on Android, iOS, and Chrome. And beta V2 was going to include time future, which now exists, and the wallet would be fully security audited. Well, that timeline is not going to be met. So we wanted to communicate that and be transparent. The tokens obviously met that deadline. We met the deadline with time and future, but the wallet itself, additional layers of complexity. When you hear out there software is hard, it may seem like a silly statement, but it is very true. Every little detail opens Pandora's box. And not only are we working through many complexities with the wallet, life happens. One of our devs had a new baby, had to take some time. One of our devs had to travel to see family. That took some time. So outside of the actual technical layers, there's a human element to it as well. So we are still working towards the security audit. We are on the cusp. We've already been through 2 rounds of the security audit with the wallet. We are working up to round 3 of security audits. And there are a few features that we are finalizing and a few bugs we are finalizing, but we are right on the cusp of being where we need to be to submit to security audit round 3. When we get feedback on round 3, we'll make those changes and we'll submit for round 4. And then round 4 is basically, hey, you made the changes, good job, if there is anything to change. With all that, we are not prepared to give a an exact date of when beta V2 will arrive. Now, I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be, we are striving for the next couple months, and we think that's achievable, but we want to make sure it's right. We want to make sure it's good. But in the meantime, you have your tokens on mainnet, and you can still swap if you feel comfortable and earn the dividends while we work towards security audited beta V2. Don, do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep you guys updated as far as the steps are concerned, and give any type of generalized timelines. And as we know, timelines are very important, but they're just hard to hit. They really are. And, it's not just us; it's everybody out there that's doing it. And like KG said, you do one little thing, and it opens up Pandora's box to hours worth of conversation, back and forth communication, testing, retesting, and testing again. But then there's other externalities that aren't in our control, like babies happening, vacations happening, things like that. So, and, as you guys know, we did slim down our team, but also we refreshed our team. There's a new member of our team here this evening. And KG, I don't want to steal your thunder if you were going to introduce him, but Mr. Trevin Hoffman is in the chat, and he is our newest dev. So please welcome him to the team. He'll try to be active in the chats to answer any questions, but we're really excited to have him. So welcome to the team, Trevin. And if you wanted to say anything, by all means, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much for the intro. Yeah, hi everyone, Trevin here, software engineer. Just got to join the team very recently this week. I love crypto, love software, love people, so super excited to get started.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to have you. We're very confident and happy to have Trevin on the team. This guy has a wealth of knowledge and experience. And Don, you did steal my thunder. I will forgive you for that, but it's okay. You deserve some thunder too, man.
Appreciate you, man.
But yeah, you'll now see 3 of our devs in 3 of the Internet Money devs in the chat. And so, if you ever see them out there, and you feel free to ask them some questions. They are busy, hardworking gentlemen, but if they can, they will do their best to respond to you. So with all that, does anybody have any questions about the wallet update, or does anybody have a question for Trevin? Or does anybody want to welcome Trevin?
I have a quick question, KG.
Go ahead.
And welcome. For sure. Some of my wallets have time dividend token, and then some of my wallets have future time and time. I forgot what was the rationale behind which wallet got what. So could you just refresh my memory as to why some of my wallets have future and time and some just have time?
Are the ones that just have time on Binance?
I would have to go and look because I see Binance, Ethereum, and PulseChain VNet 3. So I would have to check. But is that what's happening?
Yes, possibly. So please let me know if that is what's happening. But Future only launched on Ethereum, and it will only exist on Ethereum.
Okay, so that must be it then. I'll double check.
Yeah, okay. Let me know if that's not the case.
So yeah, questions about those two. Future is just going to be basically the placeholder for PulseChain.
What's up, Maverick?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, so no, Future is actually a little cooler than that. So it exists only on Ethereum, and whenever we launch time on future EVM chains, so Phantom, Polygon, Avalanche, whatever, we take a snapshot of the holders of Future, and we airdrop them 1-to-1 time on the new chain.
Gotcha. Including PulseChain, I'm assuming.
No, PulseChain is the only one not included because there was a totally different sacrifice set for time on PulseChain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So Future actually came about in our second sacrifice. If you wanted time on PulseChain, you had to participate in the first sacrifice.
Yeah, if you want some time on PulseChain, your boy Nicholas is fiending to get out. So hit him up.
So there's no trading on any of this stuff now, or I guess the one that's on Ethereum already time, right?
Yeah, somebody actually created a liquidity pool for Future and time on Ethereum. Now, the liquidity pools are light and thin, but there is some available for purchase there. Now, we as the team didn't provide liquidity for this like we did internet money. So this one's a totally different beast in that respect.
Right. So what would the token be that everybody gets for PulseChain? You're not dropping that till PulseChain's out, right?
Correct. So when PulseChain goes live, so there was a placeholder token for PulseChain in the event that time wasn't ready when PulseChain mainnet was ready. And that whole placeholder concept was literally a year ago. We didn't know PulseChain was going to take this long. And so now that time is ready, is security audited and ready to go, that placeholder token will not exist on PulseChain. We'll just, when PulseChain mainnet's live, we'll just shortly thereafter, we'll launch time straight on PulseChain.
Forgive me if I missed it, but did you go into testnet v3 being automatically uploaded and the advancements we made to be faster during mainnet?
Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about the actual wallet feature updates. Before we go into that, does anybody have any questions about the timeline as we just discussed, or are we ready to move on?
Hey, what's up, guys? I have a question real quick. Don, I remember one time, I'm just not sure if it was on this group or not, where you posted an image of, and it showed like an infographic of all the countries that had downloaded the wallet. I was wondering if you have something like that, or where can we look?
You could go to Google Trends, I believe.
What was that?
Google Trends. You just you go there and you type in internet money wallet, and then it should show you everybody that's looked into it.
Well, that's a good one. Crypto in the Hood. Good to see you guys. You too, Alcimac. I didn't know that was it. I actually have the Google Analytics for the website, and that was the hits to the website and who was actually looking, like Hood said, looking at the site. And obviously, if you're on the site, you're looking at the wallet. But I think it was like 126 different countries. A lot of countries from Africa, Indonesia, Middle East. Some countries I've never even heard of. It was an amazing thing to see. And when I get to the computer, I'll go ahead and post that image as well.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. So it's transitioning into what Don was talking about. And Don, we have not finished that yet. So, but what we are working on, what V3 has showed us is because the way right now that we have the preloaded blockchains networks into the app, they're hard coded in there, which means if we ever want to change those up, add, or remove, we physically have to push a full update. So that's shown us with this V3 launch that there's a way that we can be more responsive. So we're working on a way. We have discovered how to do it. We're now just working on implementing it so that way when PulseChain mainnet goes live, we can actually serve those changes up from the back end. and we don't have to wait on the app stores to approve our update and all that. So that's going to be able to make us, as long as PulseChain doesn't launch tomorrow, it's going to be able to make us very responsive to that mainnet launch. And we realistically, with this new method, theoretically rather, could have PulseChain mainnet RPC settings loaded into the app within 10 minutes of getting the information. Really, as soon as the devs can throw it in, which is another really bullish thing for making us responsive and relevant for PulseChain.
Yeah, that is amazing. And you think with that wallet connect, it's going to be integrated so we can try out the PulseX with the Internet Money Wallet?
100%.
So when do you think will that wallet connect start making some real live action?
You can connect it right now. It's just not very user friendly. I need to make a video until we do get approved for Wallet Connect. But I can connect the PulseX testnet right now with the Internet Money Wallet. So it's already possible. I just need to make a video, and that is my apologies.
Fantastic.
I know.
Hollywood.
Fantastic, man. Thank you guys, man. Nice, big news. Really good news. Everything is good news.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, and go ahead.
Oh, I just the recap. I mean, with the PulseChain, I mean, you're gonna for one PulseChain wallet on Wallet Connect, so you get some more, people looking at you. Then you have, the RPC settings right there in the beginning at the get-go when it goes live. So that's gonna be really great. Really smooth integration of the experience should be.
Yes, sir. Taking steps every day to make that a reality.
Yeah, hi guys, how y'all doing?
What's up, brother?
Yeah, just quick question. I just came in about 3 weeks ago and joined, and downloaded the wallet and everything, and bought some IM. Should I be doing anything, or should I just be waiting on, y'all cues to make good moves?
Man, you got to come in here and put me in that position?
Oh, shoot.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. So, I can't really answer that.
Okay, gotcha.
I can let a community member answer that. I just
not financial advice, but I suggest you go into the cryptocurrencies that you're interested in, right? Go into those groups, either in Telegram or in Twitter, and just ask questions in those specific spaces. And just
what I'm saying is I have IM and I'm rolling with y'all. I don't, I'm not too much interested in anything else because I like the wallet and stuff. I'm just saying, why should I just hold fast with my IM? You know what I mean? And just chill. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Because I'm trying to figure out what direction it's going in terms of, whether it's going up or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, I would hold.
Go ahead.
You can watch the Top Gun Hexadean video on Little Buyer Berry.
Okay. All right, cool. I understand. I got you.
Nobody in crypto lost money if they held any coin for more than 5 years. So I think you'll be okay. Any coin you choose, if you hold it. I mean, that's just the minimum, but yeah, I think you'll be all right.
All right, cool.
Well, and first of all, welcome to the community. You're always welcome to ask any of your questions in, the chat there. I've seen you asking questions out there, so it's, thanks for hopping in, introducing yourself. We do have some awesome things coming down the pipeline. We have the buy and burn for IM coming soon, which is buys IM off the open market and burns it out of existence. So makes it deflationary. And we're growing as a project. And if you look at the chart, we continue to find a better support as time goes on. So do what you will with that information, and just always ask your fellow community members what's up.
Okay, cool. Got you. Thanks.
Yeah, and to, if I may, if you're looking for like specifics, hey, is there anything like I need to do to navigate through this system? There really isn't. If you just want to earn revenue from the wallet, you have to hold time. If you want to earn future airdrops of time, you have to hold future. And if you hold IM, that's just that's just a peer-to-peer deflationary cash, so to speak. Number go up, number go down, number go up, number go down. So from there, interact with them how you will, but time is the token that's going to get you the revenue. So you would have to purchase that if you wanted a piece of the revenue. And if you had that, you don't have to do anything else other than hold it in a non-custodial wallet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's kind of my question. Just wanted to figure out how I could get me some. You know what I mean?
Yep. So right now there is a small liquidity pool that was created, and there is some for sale. You'd have to. Do you have a MetaMask wallet now?
Of course.
Non-custodial. Okay,
yep.
Perfect. You could.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I'm not going to take over the chat. There's more important things going on. I can get figure all that out as time go on. I'm gonna let y'all get back to the business at hand.
Sure thing. We'll be around.
Just can I ask a quick question? Sorry.
Sure. Go ahead, Kim.
So maybe my confusion. So IMD is now time, just to clarify, yeah?
Correct.
Is there a reason on the Hex Checker website why the points for time is different for the points for future?
Where are you checking?
Because on my on the Hex Pulse info, is that sometimes wrong?
So so you're looking at, here, let me see. I'm pulling it up myself. Can you share the links in the main chat here just so we can make sure we're talking about the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, and while you do that, Kimmit, if you take away anything from what just happened, know that you have community members who want to help you and are passionate about this. So any question you have, always feel free to ask. Okay, so you're looking at the internet money dividend sacrifice, and then you're looking at the where'd it go? Internet money wallet sacrifice, right? You're looking at the two separate things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a sacrifice for the first one, but obviously then it got put automatically in the second one, but the points are different for both.
They would be, yes, sir.
But I sent you my wallet address so you could look. But on the first one, it's but a lot more than I got.
So let me ask you this, and feel free to not answer. You could say, hey, I don't want to answer that. Did you participate in the second sacrifice or only the first sacrifice?
Only the first.
Okay. So the way that worked was, so in that case, if you sacrificed only in the first, you're going to have more points on the first one than you will in the second one, because we gave everybody who participated in the first one a $1 to $1 credit. Now, that's not a 1 point to 1 point credit. It's $1 to $1. So if you sacrificed $1,000, let's say, in the first sacrifice, you would have gotten more points per dollar.
because then that same $1,000 in the second sacrifice got you less points per dollar.
Yes. So say if 1,000, what I did is I sent you my wallet address and then sent you the amount I actually got, so you could put it in there and see for yourself.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you participate? Do you remember if you were in pool A or pool B in the first sacrifice?
Pool A.
First of all, OG, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So I'm going to drop something in the main chat here. Points. So let me know when you're looking at that.
And then let me see now.
So what I'm getting at is, if you you sacrificed in pool A in the first sacrifice, which got you 1,180 points per dollar, whereas in pool A in the second sacrifice, you only got 101 points. So that means because you didn't sacrifice in the second sacrifice, even though you got the $1 for $1 credit, your $1 credit was worth about 10x less points in the second sacrifice.
Yeah.
You still got some credit, you just didn't get as much.
Because I was in the A one, so I should have got the A credits, but I've seen and it says that on there, like that's how the amount of awards is like for the A credit, but it's like it seems like I got the B credit.
Let me see. So, and are you checking your points? So first of all, you see that link right there, internetmoney.io/points. Hexpulse.info, major shout out to the devs over there. Great guys, but they're not the source of truth. Our website is the source of truth. So I do see that you were in pool A on so also when you're on the points table, if you see by the search bar, if you click to the left of that drop down, you'll see PulseChain and multi-chain. So if you enter your address in for PulseChain, you'll see your details there. And then if you switch to multi-chain, it'll show you how many points you got on the multi-chain. And so if the first sacrifice was for time on PulseChain only. So the points that you got on multi-chain, those are...
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, sorry. That's me being dumb. It's too late for me here in the UK, obviously. So they're the big points are what I'm going to get on PulseChain.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, because that would be 10 times.
Yeah.
10, because the total supply.
No, that's fine. So on the PulseChain launch, I'll expect that amount. Yeah, cool. No worries.
Yes, hey, glad we figured it out though. Rose, good to see you.
I think I stressed out KG with my silly question that he had to leave.
No, don't be stressed out. I mean, that's what we're here for. I'm glad we figured it out.
Nah, I'm just kidding. Nah, thank you very much for that, though. Sorry about that.
No, you're welcome. No worries. All right. Well, at this point, that's basically all that is all the official updates. Floor is open for AMA. Any questions that anybody has about anything we talked about, anything we didn't talk about, the floor is open. We'll be here as long as we need to be.
Could we
What up,
talk
KG?
a referral program, please?
Update. So I got Brendan and then Hexfetti and then Top Gun. I'll go down the list. So Brendan, the referral program is still on pause, and we have not even dedicated. We haven't made progress on it, and not because we don't want to, but because the main focus right now has been getting time and future to mainnet and getting everything security audited and getting this wallet to beta V2. So the referral program is a feature that we're going to focus on in between beta V2 and version 1. So it's just, we did 2 rounds of testing on it. We learned so much, even to the point where another project has reached out to us because they want to do a referral program and they know we learned a lot about it. So we've learned a lot. We're figuring it out, but there's no progress there to speak on at this time.
That's really cool, and I'm no doubt that you guys will come up with a brilliant marketing plan, because at the end of the day, if nobody hears about us, it's going to be very hard for new users to come in. But I'm really looking forward to the referral program, and I heard a few rumors that you guys might be able to buy some of the liquidity out of the Binance Smart Chain and maybe use that then to pay as the referral fees, which will actually maybe help bring up the price on the BSC.
That is something we are going to do, yes.
Awesome.
But it's not worth marketing when you don't have a wallet ready to market. So that's why the referral program has been put on hold.
Exactly. That really is one of the major reasons. It's like marketing costs money. 1, marketing costs, mental and physical energy. 2, and also if you're out there getting those people and you're bringing them into a product that, isn't ready to be brought into, well, you're you're shooting yourselves in the foot in some way. Now, everybody who's here in this Telegram chat and has been in this community and is the OGs of this project, this has all been grassroots. And so we're still, doing streams and networking and making friends and connections and leveling up, but actually going out there and shotgun blasting ourselves to the world. And the referral program is a huge part of that. We're just not there yet.
KG, can you repeat what that new feature was on Binance that was just referred to?
Oh, sure. So originally, we had a portion of the tokens reserved to use as the free giveaway tokens for Binance or PulseChain. But instead, a few months ago, we burned all the tokens to decentralize it. And so instead of doing that and just giving away tokens that we had minted, not minted, that were left over from the original mint, we decided, hey, why don't we just buy tokens off the open market as we need them? Because one thing we noticed when we were giving away tokens during the first 2 tests of the referral program was it was basically an inflation event, right? We'd give the tokens away. Some people held them. Some people bought more, but some people sold. And for the people that sold, that's okay, good for them. But it was inflation because those tokens had never been in the market before. And so at least this way, if we buy the tokens off the open market and use it for the referral program, if anybody sells, it's not inflation because those tokens were already bought from the system.
Okay, gotcha. Thanks.
Yes, sir. And then Hexfetti, I saw you had a question. What's up, brother?
What up, KG? What up, boys? Big congratulations on the internet money ecosystem launch and future. Woo! I know you guys are working hard. Yeah. Can I wasn't here. I just came in late. What's the points per dollar we're looking at that was launched today, not the PulseChain pools?
Oh, so that I was sharing that for Kemet. Those are just the results of the first and second sacrifice. It's closed though. It's not anything new.
Right. Oh, I meant to say what points are we looking at that we should be having for the ETH and Binance second sacrifice, points per dollar?
Yep. Okay. So that depends. Well, okay, doesn't depend. So the points per dollar in the second sacrifice was 101 points per dollar. So if you participated in the first sacrifice, you got a $1 to $1 credit. Now, if you also participated in the second sacrifice, you'd add those things together. And Top Gun, you also had a question.
Okay, G. You know,
What's up,
I've been listening, and honestly, I'm super, super bullish, and I don't really have a lot of questions. You answered my one important question about liquidity and airdropping. I am so super bullish on all this. I was like, I don't care what the price of these tokens is. I went and I checked because, of course, this call was awesome. And I'm like, no way. I cannot believe how much they're worth, regardless of how little the liquidity pool is. This is insane and fun enough. I have a friend here who knew nothing about crypto at the beginning of the night. And he's totally learning and going to onboard because of all this. And he's downloaded the wallet. So it's like, hooked another one. But I'm hungry, really, really hungry. I've been putting off dinner just for listening to this. So can I book you for a third follow-up on the IM project on my show and then get the heck out of here?
Absolutely. First of all, Top Gun out there doing the job, onboarding his friends and family. If your friend can hear me, welcome to the community. It's an honor to have you, sir or madam. And
say hello.
Hi. Good to be here.
Hi. Hey. And yeah, let's message me about it. I got to pull up the calendar, but I promise you I will be responsive and we'll get a book.
Sounds good. You have a great night. Thanks for the AMA and everything that you do, KG. I am so bullish, so happy, and going to be tweaking my math model some more for PulseX, and guess what? That'll also carry over to IM. So yeah, I'm going to be doing some more for this. I love it. I love it. All right. Have a good night.
Cool. Let's go, man. Have a great night, man. Really appreciate all you do, brother.
Thanks, brother.
If you don't follow Top Gun's YouTube or Twitter, you need to. This guy is a wealth of knowledge. Anybody else out there? Any questions, comments, concerns? We are here for it.
Hey, KG, I had a question about just longer term plans for the wallet. I know you said you're not really interested for adding non-EVM chains for now, but are there any that you might be interested in the future, like Cosmos and their I forget what's the Kepler wallet that they have for that?
Oh yeah, we're definitely interested in non-EVM chains. We just don't want to be one of these wallets that what a big thing you're kind of seeing in the wallet space right now is all these new wallets popping up, and they're just supporting basically not every blockchain, but multiple non-EVM chains, right? 20 or more. And it's great, you did that. That's all you did. Maybe for some people that's enough. So before, and I will answer your question, I promise. But before we transition to non-EVM chains, we just really want to refine what we're doing in the EVM space and then start to branch that model out to other things. Cosmos is one we're eyeing. I got to learn more about it personally. We're eyeing Chia, actually. It's not an EVM, but they're cousins, I guess. We're eyeing Cardano. Yeah, so there are non-EVM chains that we like and have really strong communities that we want to engage in and bring time over there too.
And so would that all be in one wallet or one app then still? It would just be changing the RPC settings, even though it have to be a little different than that, or it seem like?
Yeah, so that's where...
Or would
Go ahead.
Or yeah, I was just wondering if there would be two separate, or would there be separate things to install for each non-EVM app, or would you try to integrate it into one UI?
That is what we would try to do. We would not want multiple apps. We would want to house everything under one. and something that we've like thought of, and again, this is just like thought experiment, but would be maybe you could have a way where depending on the chain, when that chain is selected, it populates a different feature set that's relevant for that chain, right? Like, for example, if we ever support Bitcoin in the wallet, well, you may not, time will probably not be on Bitcoin, right? So you don't need all these other features. So you could build Bitcoin relevant features. And if somebody swaps to that chain, they get features relevant for that chain. So that would be the ideal reality that we do it in. Now, how realistic is that? We'll just have to see.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else out there? No, it's all good. There are no bad questions. No matter how experienced or new you are, we're here for it.
Hey, good evening, KG. How you doing?
What's up, Bud P? How are you? Good.
I'm doing well, brother. The buy and burn smart contract, when did you say was when were you looking to launch that?
We're not given a timeline on that, but, and I really hate to use the word soon, but again, it has been created and it does exist right now on PulseChain V3. We're not releasing that contract address just yet, but you will be able to test it like shortly. It already exists on V3. Considering testing goes well, we like the feature set, we'll get it audited, we'll launch. So realistically, a few weeks. Like that's a realistic timeline that could be achieved.
Outstanding.
Yep, and the first places we'll go with it are IM on Ethereum and Binance and Hex on Ethereum.
Okay. And if you do go to a chain like Cardano or a non-EVM chain, those of us that have future token, will there be a time token on non-EVM chains distributed to the holders once that goes live?
That is undecided at this point, and that is why we've always used the language all future EVM chains, because we just don't have the answer to that question right now.
Fair enough. Well, congratulations. I don't have anything else.
Hey, thank you. Congratulations to you too, man. Your project too.
Oh, I actually did have a question about the wallet. So are we good to go for adding liquidity, or are we still waiting for the UI to be updated with the contracts?
Add liquidity to what exactly?
Well, to my own tokens along with IM and all that jazz, funding the liquidity wallet. So there's, money there to be bought and sold so we get dividends.
I got you. So you're talking about importing your keys, doing swaps within the wallet.
Yeah, or hardware wallet is the front end, but yeah, same difference.
Of course. So we're still pending that, final round of security audits. So if you feel comfortable in the current state to do that, the technical ability to do that exists. You can do that right now. On Chrome, we do have Ledger support, and we're working on Trezor support. That's actually the dev team we're actively talking about Trezor again as we speak in the background. So Trezor support, hopefully on the horizon very shortly. But that's your comfort level. It's not fully security audited yet. So that
okay. So
yeah.
Is there a chance that if something is found, that contracts would be rewritten and then, we'd move, is there still a chance that we switch contracts before, at some point in the future?
What do you mean by contracts? What contracts?
Right. Yeah. Sorry. Specifically, the like the contracts for the liquidity. It's like the yeah. Like the pools.
Like time and future, or the swap router contract that actually handles the swap.
The swap, like the swap router contract. Because we're not adding liquidity to Uniswap, we're adding it to IAM's ecosystem.
No, so actually, the way that works, you don't actually have to add liquidity. You would just, like the way our swap router, this is a great question, actually. The way the swap router works is, okay, you could go directly to a DEX, right? That functionality exists. But what the swap router does is it searches all the DEXs that we have it programmed to search. And it finds the best rate for you to give you the most tokens for your swap. And it does that all simultaneously and instantly. And when you perform the swap within the wallet and use that swap router, that's when the dividend kicks in. That's when the fee kicks in for the swap, and that's when the dividend is paid. So you don't actually have to add liquidity. All you have to do, and all anyone has to do, is swap from token A to token B in the wallet.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, like, if we were just a fork of, or the liquidity that's going to be in the wallet, like in our ecosystem, is not in a Uniswap pool. It is a separate pool, our contracts, that has those fees built into it, right?
I'm good, thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. See you later. Oh wait, Expanded, you're unmuted. Tranny, I'm sorry, brother. I don't think I understand exactly what you're asking. I apologize.
Yeah, it might be my bad too. I'm trying to say, so like, there's liquidity pools that we're adding in this that are separate from the Uniswap pools because they have their own fee stuff built into it, right?
There is no separate liquidity pools, no.
So we're using the exact same liquidity as Uniswap. There's no different, it's not a separate DEX?
It is not. We aggregate two existing DEXs.
Oh.
Yep. So we leverage Uniswap liquidity, PulseX liquidity, PancakeSwap liquidity. And the beauty of the aggregator contract we have is, rather than saying, okay, I'm going just to Uniswap, it literally searches all the liquidity for the best deal right from the wallet. That's the beauty of using the in-app swap.
So it's a DEX aggregator.
Correct.
That's even cooler. That's even cooler.
I'm glad you think so, because like we're not in the DEX game yet. We're just in the aggregation game. So yeah, as long as somebody swaps from token A to token B, you don't even have to put up your own liquidity. We don't have to try to be a DEX and get all these tokens to say, hey, our DEX is better, put your liquidity here. No. People just have to swap from token A to token B in the wallet. That's it.
And another cool thing it does is it also looks for the best path to do the swap. So it might not be token A to token B. It might be token A to token C to token B. It's the best path for the swap.
Right. Yeah, but you as the swapper, you don't have to think about that. All you have to think about is where you want to go, and the tech does the rest.
Hey, KG. Hey, Don.
What's up, Rizology?
How's it going, guys? Congratulations on the launch. I just wanted to say, congratulations, and I'm excited. I'm glad to be here, and it's exciting times, So, congratulations. Happy Internet Money Day.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. Congratulations to you as well, man. You've been around the community. You're an OG around here, and we appreciate you. And man, congrats to you too, bro.
Hey, fellas, I have one more question.
Go for it.
If we wait, those of us who choose to wait until to claim our time and future, the yield that our time and future should be collecting, those fees are just being set aside until we go in and act and put those into our wallet. Is that correct?
So 2 parts to that question. So you don't have to claim your time and future. That's already in your wallet. We airdropped it to you.
Okay.
As far as claiming the dividends that your time earns, when those dividends, the Pulse, the ETH, the BNB, let's call it ETH in this example, those ETH will hit the time contract. They will sit there until you go in and claim them.
Perfect.
I got another question there. KG.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sure you've said it a bunch of times. I just missed it. When is the audits expected for the wallet? When are the audits expected to be complete?
I don't have that answer right now, unfortunately. We've already had 2 rounds of the audits complete, so there's partial completion. But we've added new features since that second round was complete, and we're basically cleaning up the existing features, cleaning up the bugs, and adding a couple other small features before we enter in to round 3 of the security audits. We don't have a timeline for that. I don't want to say it's going to be a long time, but I also don't want to say it's going to be tomorrow, because it's what we're actively working on every single day to get this into the hands of the security auditors. So I don't even want to make estimates right now, because we did our best to make estimates on this last round with it. But like Don said, what we will do is keep everybody apprised of what's going on. Like, hey, we've made more progress, or hey, we've submitted to security. Like, we'll keep everybody updated every step of the way.
Is there an estimate for it to come back once you submit it to the auditors?
Yeah, once we submit for the audit, it's like 10 to 15 days. And then you get that audit, and then if there's any findings, you address the findings, right? And then by address the findings, I mean fix it, resolve it, mitigate it, whatever. Then you send it back to the security auditors. They say, okay, they check to make sure nothing else has changed. And then they say, okay, here's how you've addressed our concerns. They're going to give you the green checks, and then you're done. So the second part is actually shorter. It's the first part that takes the longest time.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, and we'll try to come up with a more, we'll try, when we feel confident, we can maybe try to come up with a timeline, but it's just the things that we're doing, and most of this time delay with the audit on this round for the wallet is centering around the mathematical complexities of the time functionality. And that is, there's no guidebook. There's no, you can't Google what we're trying to do. You can't even really, you can ask other devs their opinion of what we're trying to do, but what we're doing has never been done before. We're literally in the jungle with the machete, chopping down the trees and the weeds to make a path. So anybody who comes behind us, we're going to be able to help them, but there's nobody to help us. So when we think, oh, hey, look, we see the waterfall, there's water. Well, all of a sudden you get to the end of the bushes, and it's like, oh, there's actually this 7-mile valley we have to cross before we get to the waterfall that we didn't see. So I hope that analogy makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And speaking of that, a follow up. Any idea about the RH wallet, or if he's even doing that anymore? Anybody heard anything?
I've heard nothing. All I know about the RH wallet at this point is I say apparently because it's all it is. Apparently somebody's working on it. And Richard actually posted a tweet, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I'll see if I can find it, where he was like, working on this, working on that, working on this, working on that. Things are growing great. One thing he did not say was he was working on the wallet. So I'm not saying he's not working on a wallet, but it does not appear that progress is being made on the wallet. That's my own personal opinion.
And he must be aware of this wallet at this point.
RH is 100% aware, without any doubt, 100% aware of what we're doing. I know that as a factual statement from multiple ways. He knows that this wallet exists.
Keep it tight, KG. He's gonna love it. But I just want to say, if we were talking about prioritizing, RH has got the PulseChain is trying to launch. So yeah, I mean, wallets are not top of priority, not even top 3.
No way. I mean, with everything we're going through to make this wallet, with a dedicated team that works on this wallet, with us working on this wallet as our full-time career, add a whole blockchain on top of that. I'm not even sure it's like one man has enough mental capacity to do such a thing. Not saying RH isn't extremely intelligent or good at what he does. Not saying that at all. But just like all of us, he is a man. And so I can't even begin to imagine all the layers of complexity that come with the blockchain. And to add all this, no way.
I mean, he knows his hexagons. He knows his hexagons are working too. Papa Boner's getting everybody on hardware, and Matty all in is, with his protocol, right? So, and hexagons are already staking. So the people who sacrifice already sacrificed right there. Wallets. So he's not, that's why it's top 3.
And I don't know if this will ever occur. This is, part of my Moon Boy hype dream, right? Is that RH sees the good work we're doing, sees how serious that we take security, and sees all the amazing things that we're doing for PulseChain and now for Hex with the buy and burn, that we work up to a standard where RH says, you know what? Why do we need to build a wallet? There's this one right here. Just like he did with Staker app. He didn't build a Staker app wallet. He leveraged the existing technology that existed. So again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Let's pretend it won't. But that's part of that. That's one of the goals we have. Is it achievable? Only time will tell.
Yeah, because if you're using a hot wallet to do your swaps and you hold Hex or you hold IM, why wouldn't you use the Internet Money wallet? It's going to burn the asset that you love and pay your fellow community members more dividends to buy more of the assets that everybody loves. When you do swaps with the MetaMask, Trust Wallet, name 1,000 other wallets, that economic energy gets taken right out and put in the hands of JP Morgan Chase, the Chinese government, the Russian government. It doesn't go back into the community. It just disappears forever. They're not, JP Morgan Chase isn't buying Hex, but the fees that are generated from the wallet, from our wallet, are going to be sent back to the holders of time who, as you know, most of which are members of the community. What do you think they're going to do with it? Some people may take it out and do other things, but most people will reinvest it into the products that we know and love already. So this is a complete win-win for the whole, and I hear myself in the background making funny noises. I do apologize, but it's a complete win-win all around. and the ecosystem just takes care of itself if people just swap in the wallet. It's as simple as that.
Truly DeFi wallet. Let's go.
Go. Yeah.
I've got a question. Hi, KG and Don, and congratulations on an amazing launch on your all 3 tokens now. So well done. You got there. So
thanks.
I just
appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. I'm trying to get my head around what you guys are trying to explain. If you could create a scenario for me, please. So how's this hex buy and burn going to work? I mean, it sounds. How do you get adoption to do a hex buy and burn with the community?
The adoption question, that's a different question. The technical aspects of the question are relatively simple. You put time into this buy and burn contract. Time is the fuel. As the wallet generates its revenue, that smart contract is going to earn time. That smart contract is going to earn dividends, Pulse, ETH. It's going to use that ETH to buy hex off the open market, and it's going to burn the hex. That's how that works.
So where's the time come from? Does someone have to buy the time? So does the community pull together to buy the time? How's that work?
It works however it plays out. That's the beauty of it, because either somebody who currently holds time now can deposit time into that contract. If a hexagon that doesn't hold time wants to increase the hex buy and burn, they would buy time off the open market and deposit it into the contract. And the more people that put time into that contract, the bigger the buys and the bigger the burns are.
So is that like a staking into the smart contract?
No, it's even better than that. We like to be liquid. We're a liquid project. We want people to move. Life happens. We love staking, but we love life. Okay. And this is where we're testing this feature, but we believe it's going to work out this way. The buy and burn is going to be able to, anybody can participate in depositing their time into the buy and burn contract. And at will, you can remove your time from the buy and burn contract. So let's say a whale is feeling really benevolent for a couple weeks. They could put a huge amount of time into the contract, and then they can remove it. So there's no we did it that way too, because it seems it incentivizes people more to want to attribute their time to the system. Because if you put it in there and it's locked up forever, or maybe even a certain amount of time, then it disincentivizes people because there's no staking rewards, right? So being able to just put it in, pull it out, it's almost like a no risk type of, I put no risk in quotes, but like a no risk type of situation, even if somebody wants to try it out.
So I've got some time and I want to put it into the smart contract. How do I do that?
There would be a function. So we're working on a DApp we're building a DApp for the Internet Money website. We believe it's just going to be burn.internetmoney.io. And you'll be able to do it for IM or HEX. And what you do is you just go to the DApp and have it withdraw the time from your wallet, which will give you a credit, basically, for all intents and purposes. The contract will know, hey, wallet 123 deposited 1,000 time. So whenever you're done, you could go back and withdraw. Wallet 123 can withdraw 1,000 time. But that's it. There's no admin keys in this contract. So nobody can take your time. Only the person that deposited it can take it back out.
And then the revenue or percentage of revenue that you are able to claim is in this time, which is in the smart contract in the DApp, and then that is used to burn hex or IM.
So here's what's really cool about it. Well, okay, so if you, as the time holder, put your time into the buy and burn smart contract, you are giving up your dividends for the buy and burn cause, right? You're not going to earn those dividends as an individual anymore. The contract is going to earn the dividends. Now, how is it going to do the buy and burn if there's no admin keys? All the functions are public call functions. What does that mean? Anybody can connect to the DApp or call it directly from the blockchain and say, we want to claim dividends, we want to buy hex, we want to burn hex. So anybody can build a front end of this contract and anybody can call those functions. No one central. So like if we build this DApp and our website goes down, it can still be called on chain or anybody can build a front end. So it's a decentralized buy and burn too.
Nice. So I've got a second question. Sorry, you continue, and I've got another question, but please finish off.
Well, Chef, I just wanted to say that this is what I was talking about before with Shiv, right? So let's just say time goes to $10, right? And in the future, we all want to buy and burn some more internet money, some more Hex or whatever. Hex has a community of 300,000 holders. So if every holder just said, you know what, I'm going to take one time, I'll buy it for $10 or whatever, and I'm going to put it in there. And that's my contribution because that's a perpetual buy and burn. It's never going to stop. Smart contract on the blockchain with no admin keys. It's immutable. So it's not going to stop. So if you sacrifice $10 to buy one time and put it in the smart contract, it will always do its part to buy and burn. Now you times that by 300,000 holders. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't a community put up $5 a piece, $1 a piece, right? And especially now that time is cheap, put up 10 times, right? Extrapolate that over 100,000 users and see how much of that asset that you love will be bought and burnt forever.
I almost cried, Don.
Yeah, yummy. Very yummy.
But you also say that the whale can get his coins back if he wants?
Exactly. Anybody can deposit and withdraw their position in the buy and burn.
So then how does it get burned if he can get his coins back? Or I don't get it.
Oh, sorry. No, you can't get your dividends back, but you can get your time back. So if you had your supply, so like let's say I put in 100 time to the buy and burn contract, and that 100 time earned 1 ETH of dividends. I could pull my time out, but I can't pull the dividends out. The dividends are the smart contract earned. So you just won't, that person who deposited their time, it won't earn any more revenue for the smart contract, but they can't take out what it already earned.
Yeah, I get it. So they're buying, burning the dividends to give out more dividends to the people. Yeah. Amazing.
And there's so many like little bonuses. Like, okay, so we get the question all the time, and especially from Hexicans, because they're like, well, let's face it, we the Hexicans are like, it's just we're more aware of things that are going on in crypto. So one question we get asked by the Hexicans a lot is, well, why would I use your in-app swaps when I can go directly to MetaMask or to the DEX? I can go directly to Uniswap or PulseX or whatever. It's a great question because the wallet does have a fee. right? If you go directly to the DEX, you don't get that. You can, same thing with MetaMask, same thing with every wallet. If you go directly to the DEX, there's a fee that you don't have to pay. But here's the thing. Do you want to go to the DEX, and maybe you do, and save like basically a negligible amount of money? Or would you want to go to the wallet and swap and contribute to the buy and burn for the asset you believe in and the asset you probably hold? Because if it's buying and burning that asset, it's 2-layer pump-a-minnow. It's buy pressure, pump-a-minnow 1, and then it's remove those tokens from circulation, never to sell down the price again, pump-a-minnow 2. Buy and burns are probably the best pump-a-minnow in crypto.
And there's also other reasons that you would use a hot wallet. There's a lot of convenience factors involved too, especially with our, asset aggregator that finds you the best route to get to the asset that you want. And there's other cool features that will give you the convenience. KG has that example of, okay, I can go to the major food store to buy a gallon of milk and I'll save $1.50. Or I can go to the local Piggly Wiggly right down the street. I'm gonna pay a little more, but I'm in and I'm out and I'm back home in 5 minutes. So you pay a little more for convenience, and that's what we're offering here, a lot of convenience within inside the wallet.
It's convenience, absolutely, but it's also, you might actually save money. Because if you just go to one DEX and you get a quote, well, if you were able to aggregate and search multiple DEXs, you might actually get a better deal over here that even offsets the fee that you pay to find that better deal. So there's actually even realities where paying the fee, you still get more than you would have if you didn't.
True. Yep.
Is all of this written out or diagrammed out somewhere?
No, it is not. Definitely something that we have a basic infographic, but like one of those awesome, complex, nobody can barely follow infographics. We definitely need one of those.
Okay. All right. Before I barrage with more questions, I'll just listen to this whole thing again and see if I can make some headway.
Look, so all you need for the buy and burn to really focus on right now, to just the initial, is that we can launch it for any token. And as the wallet does revenue, the more time is in those contracts, the greater the buy and burn power is for those tokens. That's the general overview. All the other stuff is just other awesome little benefits that come as a result of that.
Okay. All right. But what was the part about if you take your time tokens and you either leave them out of this and collect the dividends, or you put them in the contract and you don't get the dividends? What was that?
Yeah, so again, the way that these buy and burn contracts generate their fuel, it is the time token. That's the fuel. Call that the money printer, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So if the contract is holding that fuel, when a dividend comes into the time contract, instead of you earning it, the smart contract earns it. So if you put your time to the smart contract, it gets your dividends, you don't.
Right.
And that's how it gets its fuel. But then if you're like, hey, dividends are looking real nice today, I want to earn that money, you just pull it right out. And then the next block, because the way our freaking awesome technology works, the next block, you start earning your dividends again. Literally, block by block, liquid. You could put your time in one block, contract earns the fees. You pull your time out the next block, you earn the fees. It's that liquid. Go ahead, Chef.
Sorry, yeah. I've got a two-part question. It's more about process. If you can explain it. So originally, there was with the sacrifices, we all sacrifice 4 times through our non-IM wallet, like MetaMask, Trust, and so forth, self-custodial. So we've got our time and on Binance and ETH today in our wallets. So, but how do we claim our dividends? And then, if you can explain how we claim it in the IM wallet with the sweep and claim. So 2 parts, please.
Yes, sir. So right now, so if you're holding your time in your MetaMask or your Trust wallet or whatever wallet, you're still going to be earning the dividends. And that's because you're never actually holding tokens in a wallet. The private keys are stored on chain and the tokens themselves are on chain. Your wallet is just the front end, the projector that shows you what's on the blockchain. So you will still be earning your dividends because the time contract, all it knows is this address 123 is holding X amount of time. All right. Now, the issue, quote, becomes how do you actually claim it? And there's two ways to do that right now. Way number one is you use the Internet Money Wallet because that is the cleanest and easiest user interface that allows you to interact with the time contract, right? We're the only user interface that exists. Now, that's not to say that as time goes on, somebody else can't build a user interface. They absolutely can. That can happen, and we hope it does. If you don't want to import your keys, so you can either A, import your keys from your sacrifice wallet into the Internet Money Wallet, or you can just create new keys and send your time to the keys that you created on the Internet Money Wallet. Or if you're using a hardware wallet, none of that matters anyways, and you could just use your hardware wallet with the Internet Money Wallet. Now, if you don't want to use the Internet Money Wallet user interface, what you would do is you would have to either go directly to the Block Explorer, you'd have to use a program like Remix, and maybe there's some other really cool dev ways you could go about interacting with the contract and not using a user interface. I think that answers your question.
So a quick follow-up to that answer. How simple is it for somebody to create front ends on other blockchains?
Front ends on other blockchains? Do you mean like, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like for MetaMask or for MetaMask. Let's say somebody doesn't want to use the Internet Wallet interface, but they want to claim having time and even future, right? But let's say time, for example.
It would be as easy as good of a dev they are, I guess, would be the answer to that question.
You would just copy and paste the RPC settings, I guess, if it's Ethereum based.
Well, building a dApp to interact with the smart contract there's an art to it because you got to, if you want it to be pretty and clean, you got to make it pretty and clean, right? There's graphic art involved in that. But then you also have to know how to make it when like, hey, I press this button, it's calling that function on chain, on the smart contract on chain. And that's really the nuts and bolts of what a user interface or a dApp is.
let's say, quick follow up again. Let's say you've accumulated some on your MetaMask wallet, you're holding it, and then you create new keys in your internet wallet, and you transfer your time tokens to the new keys and the new internet wallet, internet money wallet. What happens to the accumulated ETH that was in the MetaMask wallet?
We thought of it, dude, because again, we like liquid. It stays there until you claim it. So if you transfer your tokens, sell your tokens, whatever, the way the contract is written is the credit goes to the address that was holding the token at the time the dividends came through. So if you had one ETH sitting, on your MetaMask address, and you transfer all your tokens to your internet money address, well, then that one ETH just sits there until you claim it.
Awesome.
So to add on to that question and the subject, so I've imported my account that I originally did my sacrifice from into the IAM wallet. So I want to claim my dividend. So I now on ETH and on Binance, I see these two words. I see one called sweep and one called claim.
Right.
What are they?
So I'm going to drop, and I will answer that question, but I am going to drop an infographic as well so people can have a visual to what I'm talking about. There you go. So the way the actual, and I'll explain why we did it this way too, but the way the actual flow works is when a swap occurs within the wallet, that fee is charged. Well, that fee is actually stored in the swap router contract. The fee is the dividends, okay? The dividends are stored in the swap router contract. Now, you can't claim those fees, those dividends that are in the swap router contract until they are swept over into the time contract. Once they're swept over and they hit the time contract, that's when you can claim. So the sweep, though, you don't have to sweep. When one person sweeps, it brings all the dividends over for everybody. So you don't even have to sweep every time. Just whenever one person does it, it does it for everybody. Now, the reason that we did it that way is because we had it set up in the beginning to push the dividends over to the time contract every single swap. But what we noticed is on average, it made the swaps about 16% more expensive in terms of gas. So we did it this way to make it 16% cheaper per swap.
Does it notify you when someone's done a sweep, or how do you know when someone's done a sweep?
That is something that we want to do. Yes, we don't have in-app notifications yet. That is something big that we want to work on. The in-app notifications is more of like the beautifying and the user experience of the whole thing. So once we get past all this functionality part, but the only way you would know if someone had swept is, so if you're on the wallet right now and you go to the dividends page, you'll see claimable dividends and sweepable dividends. So those sweepable dividends are still your portion. And if you have a balance there and then it moves over to your claimable, you'll know that somebody is swept because your claimable balance has increased. So whenever that claimable balance increases, somebody swept. That makes sense, Chef?
Yes, so I'm on the wallet now and it's saying invalid date for the sweep. I'm guessing that's what you're talking about.
Let me see. What chain are you on?
I'm on Ethereum and it says last claimed invalid date.
Let me see. I'll pull mine up. And again, if you're seeing any bugs on Ethereum or Binance or PulseChain right now, oh, look at that. PulseChain V3 made it in the app. Let's go. Devs are working. Love it. So if you're claiming on, if you're on Ethereum mainnet, BNB mainnet, or PulseChain V3, just give us a couple days because we just launched all the contracts there. So we're cleaning up that whole UI right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So on in the wallet, it's recognized on Ethereum my time, which is good. That's a tick. And so that's good news.
Yep.
On the dividend page, sorry.
Very nice.
Quick side question. During the very first sacrifice for the PulseChain version of the sacrifice, KG, you made available a calculator. I'm not sure if Top Gun created the calculator, but it was a pool A, like Excel sheet calculator thing, and I still have it. Does that still run correct, or has the mechanisms changed?
Yes, that is still correct. Actually, we made it even better. Let me see. If you go to, check this out. Let me see. Is it here? Calculators? Okay. Okay. So if you go there to internetmoney.io/sacrifice, sacrifice is over. This isn't, you can't sacrifice anymore. But if you just go to that page real quick and you scroll down to the bottom, or just keep scrolling, you'll see it shortly. We have a pool A and a pool. Well, I'm sorry. I should have asked this question. Are you talking about calculating for? I'm sorry. I should have. Or sorry, sacrifice 1 or sacrifice 2?
Sacrifice 1, the pool A dividends calculator, like what fees you could charge if you put in 30 days. So it gives you how much fees you could estimate you would be getting from the dividends for 30 days. It was in the very beginning. It was pool A stuff for the first sacrifice.
Yeah, if you have that spreadsheet, we don't have the pool A we don't have the sacrifice 1 calculators anymore. We only have the sacrifice 2 calculators. So yeah, if you have that spreadsheet from Top Gun, that should still be accurate. And I mean, are you a math guy or no? It's okay if you're not.
Probably not.
Okay. Because there is a calculation that you could get it done. But anyways, yeah,
that's the whole reason why I downloaded Top Gun's Excel sheet, because it's so complicated. But yeah.
Well, see, now that you know your position, it's actually a little easier because, well, if you know how to use that spreadsheet, just use that spreadsheet. It's all good. It works.
So let's break it down. So we've launched IM on Binance. Tick. We've launched IM on Ethereum. Tick. We've launched time on Binance and Ethereum. Tick. We've launched future on ETH. Tick. So now it's all about the wallet launch, correct?
Yeah, right now it's waiting on PulseChain to throw in those, ticks over there. It's all about focusing on wallet cleanup, security audit, beta V2 launch, and it's about getting those buy and burns out there as well to finalize the IM tokenomics. So yeah, wallet has primary focus, backed up by the buy and burn. I mean, wallet's always been a focus, but now that these tokens are actually out there, that is like, it's really still hard to conceptualize how much mental space just freed up, because it's still day one, but a lot.
and the relief, because it's done.
And the relief. I mean, yeah, now it's just seeing where it goes. And so it's like, but it's immutable. So, we nothing we can do to change it at this point. It is what it is.
So the swap feature, swap button on ETH and Binance has been disabled at the moment until beta 2. So there's no revenue being generated through the IM wallet.
Not at this very moment in time, but the first tasks, or the MVP high attention tasks that the devs are working on right now, is getting the wallet to support the new contracts that we just launched. So even though we won't be in beta V2 security audited wallet yet, fees will be generating, dividends will be earning as long as people are swapping.
Another question that comes up is, when we go from beta 1 to beta 2, people's assets or tokens that they've got in their wallet, there'll be no change there. It's just an update.
Correct, yes. Yep, it's just going to be an update like the other updates that you've gotten. The only difference is when we update that build will be a security audited, pen tested build. So again, anybody listening right now, whether it's the Internet Money wallet, whether it's MetaMask Trust Wallet, I don't care. You should always have your private keys and your seed phrase stored in a secure location. Because again, with this being beta, anything can happen. I don't foresee any complications with the update, but you should have your stuff saved securely just in case there's any kind of anything unforeseen, going back to a few months ago when part of that first round of security audits found that we needed to change the way that the passwords were being generated. When we had to make that update, people had to delete the app and reinstall. So if you had your seed phrase stored, you were good. But if you didn't, then you were locked out. So something to always keep in mind in best practices.
Yeah, that's a great point, KG. I'm glad you pointed that out. Very important to protect your seed phrases at all time, and I'm sure that everybody here knows this, but if you're new to this group, because I am seeing some new names, if anybody asking you for your seed phrase or your private keys, it is a scam. Report them immediately. And nobody from the Internet Money team, there are some duplicate accounts out there with KG and Hexy Chef. Nobody's going to DM you first. No one's going to ask you for money. No one's going to ask you for help. So definitely use caution out there. And if you have any questions or concerns about if something's legit, post it in the main chat. And you'll get 1,000 answers immediately. Saying, hey, that's a scam, don't do it. If it feels funny,
Hey fellas, just to add to what Don was saying. So most of the time when people hit me up on DM, they're not, necessarily asking me like, hey, what is your seed phrase? It's usually, airdrop, internet money airdrop, click here. And when people click there, that's when they get you. So just be wary of that.
Yeah, great points all around. And yeah, great points, Don. Great points, Alsamac. It's hard to really communicate what, like, internetmoney.io is the only official website. Like, we saw a scam that was like internet-money.io, and they were doing all these fake Telegram groups pop up and these fake websites pop up. If we're gonna do an airdrop or anything occurs, you're gonna hear about it in this chat you're in right now. Bookmark this one, because what they'll do is they'll copy the profile picture, they'll copy the name, everything, and they'll just add you to it, and you won't know. So make sure you know this is the real one, and make sure you know the real website and the real Twitter. Okay. We don't want your seed phrases. We don't want your private keys. I don't want your crypto. Don doesn't want your crypto. These admins don't want your crypto. The Internet Money team is, we want you to win. We want you to have your crypto. We want you to have your crypto forever until you want to sell it. We want you to onboard your friends and family and they have crypto safely. So please don't get scammed.
Quick question. The only place to see how much distributions you've accumulated is in the Internet Money wallet right now?
Currently, yes. Again, though, anybody can build a front end. And, you know, something that we're even talking about doing is creating like at least a stats board on our website. But that's not the primary focus right now. So anybody else out there? Questions, comments, concerns? We are here for all of it. All right. I'll sit here for a few more minutes in case someone has a question, but, you know, if there's nothing else.
Sheesh. I just came back in here. Y'all still open?
Yeah, man. What's up?
What's up? You know, it's a month of Ramadan here, so, you know, I was away for a little minute. I'm back now. You know, I heard everything that I was talking about earlier. I love it. I love it.
Happy Ramadan, brother. Glad to have you here. I don't know. Do you say Happy Ramadan? I'm sorry, I don't celebrate the holiday.
Ramadan Mubarak. Yeah, there you go. It's cool. It's the same thing.
Okay, my apologies. No disrespect. I just
No. You're good. You're good. How y'all doing though? Everybody got their contract address in their wallets, ready to go. I see the liquidity getting flooded a little bit.
Yeah, you know, hoping if there's any whales out there listening, they'll provide some liquidity, picking up that pool.
Yeah. Wink.
Just saying, if there's any whales out there. Has anybody created a pool?
Pure community token. No, sorry. I was saying pure community token. What did you say?
No, you're absolutely right though. Like it is a pure community token. And this is like we have been saying for months that we're not going to add liquidity and that this is going to happen in a truly decentralized fashion. So here it is happening right before our eyes. See what it looks like on BSC. Uh-oh, somebody created a liquidity pool on BSC. 13 cents.
13 cents. It was the creation of the liquidity pool. How much time?
No, somebody created it at 3 zeros and an 8. And it's on a dip right now at 13 cents. Wow, there's half a BNB and 1,265 pool time. Somebody market bought $230. Let's see. Oh, they're a new time holder. Oh, no, they're not. Good for them. How much did they buy? They're an internet money holder. That's actually cool. I've seen a few internet money holders today who were not time holders by time. So that means so this is pretty cool. People who weren't in on the sacrifice are getting positions now. Oh, and Aventus just asked, any updates on the OTC market? Yeah, that's something we still want to do, just have not actively been working on it. So still something in the pipeline though. Yes, sir. Dude, should somebody create an internet money time pool? I need to see an internet money. If you're listening out there and you're an IM holder and a time holder and a future holder, let's see an internet money future pool.
That would be cool. And then if you swap within the wallet, it'll aggregate around to see how you can get the best bang for your buck. Is to go from time to ETH or time to IM, or it'll make that choice for you.
That'd be cool. This is pretty interesting. So I wonder if I could go back to see who created the pool. Here it is. This is the creator of the pool. You got wrapped Dogecoin? That's strange. Cool. Good for you. Oh, wow. Looks like this person put their whole time position into the liquidity pool. Looks like we've had 3 people sell their entire position.
Hey KG, can you show your screen as you're doing that? Because I tend to learn like visually like that.
Sure, bud. All right, one sec. I got to switch back over to the computer. Hold on.
Okay, yeah, and let's go ahead and end this recording because we're at like 2 hours and 20 minutes on it, but we'll continue talking. So everybody, appreciate you being here tonight. And look, if you stick around after the recording ends, we're still going to stay here and chat. So this is for the video. Appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody being here. Everybody who's been a part of this journey, we appreciate you, and we only continue building from here. Y'all have a good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. Peace.